Hello, y'all, and welcome to CRE with CBC Worldwide. My name is Ashley Wilson, and this is Market Tales. In this month's episode, we are featuring two of the recordings live from Global Conference back in March. Now, instead of sitting down to chat with these folks, we decided to put a twist on it and walk and talk. All right, so we're going to hear from Steve and Stucy of CBC Legacy Group in Bowling Green, Kentucky, and from Heather Tickel of CBC Cornerstone in Sumter, South Carolina. We're going to share their journey into commercial real estate, and I invite you to share in the laughs that we had. Now, if you want to take a look at the video, go over to our YouTube channel, and don't forget to like and share. Tell us, how did you get into commercial real estate?
Okay, well, to make a long story longer, what I started in ministry, working with children through a church. It was horrible. It was very lucrative, where I was making $10,500 a year with children, feeding them candy and stuff, and picking them up. I drove a bus without a license. It was illegal. You can't do that today. And through that and coaching basketball, all these wonderful things, somehow that led to me being an auctioneer. And you try to get, I'm breaking this all up. And you said, get up here. So I'll do it. Hey, at 20, you better hear to get them on 30. Now you better hear to get them on 35, now 40. You better hear to get them on 40, now 45,000 sold to bidder. So I said I wasn't going to do it, but I did it.
Yeah,
so I became an auctioneer. And then I love selling pots and pans and stuff like that, and horses and cars. And then it moved up to houses. And then there was a fear that auctioneers, the Kentucky rule is, because auctioneers are negotiating houses, you can't do that without a license, and that's illegal in 12 states. And so somebody says, you need to get your real estate license. And just like another test that we had to do, I failed it 15 times.
Oh.
And I finally got it. And then I just got into the business of selling real estate, selling houses. And that was so exciting, negotiating over $50 parts for a water heater. I couldn't take it anymore. And somebody said, hey, why don't you try to do some commercial? And so I got into that, and it was more exciting. It was cutthroat. People get punched in the throat, and it was exciting. And I loved every minute of it, because I loved negotiating like I did with yard sales back in the day. They're just beautiful.
It really is just beautiful. And I'm so glad I got to witness you doing the auctioneer thing, because you would not do it on stage last year.
I know.
But we still had a lot of fun. All right, so you got into commercial real estate because, this $50 parts for water heaters just wasn't cutting it anymore. Wasn't like, fueling the money to pay for the candy for the children and the bus. We got the whole story now. So we are in commercial real estate. You were in commercial real estate. So tell me how your auctioneer business has kind of helped fuel your commercial real estate career.
Well, I noticed the people that would buy real estate, those are the people with money.
Makes
And
sense.
to be able to streamline that, I also know they like to give, and they would contribute their time and their money toward the nonprofit of their choice. And so as I look back, because you use the things that you had been prepared for in the past for the future.
Right.
And as I was working with children, I had to keep their attention, and I'm kind of a little pocket clown where I get excited sometimes and I can't be professional, but I noticed the walls of professionalism would drop just a little bit when I walk into the room and somebody say, hey, Mr. Money's putting it still together. And I realized there was a familiarity that helped me. So what I was doing is I would go, for example, the Humane Society, cats and dogs and things of that nature, and the Med Center Health Foundation and Ronald McDonald. Well, I would help these organizations through a very systematic approach to be able to raise funds through awareness for their cause and funds. And I always say, what's more important? Is it the funds that you're needing or the awareness? And I would always see how they would say it, and both are important. Well, as I was doing that, and I'd get up there and be a clown through these great productions and trying to create awareness for the organization. And I would, three-legged cat named Tripod, and he needs money and all this. It's just beautiful that these guys have said, hey, I want to talk to you. And so indirectly, I was promoting my Coldwell Banker commercial business by helping these individuals allocate funds to a cause that they will appreciate. And it was a blessing because it helped them raise money, and I love raising money. I love helping people spend their money. I love taking some of their money and putting it in my pocket, and it's a beautiful ecosystem. And if you could do that by helping people with their calls and needs and their wants, you will be so successful. But I had to realize I'm not like everybody else.
You're just not realizing that?
I got these twitches but the thing is, you have to use what you have. If you are a clown, then use it. And there is a time to be professional, but some people are extremely intelligent. Use it. I can't use that.
You're not one of them.
I'm not one of those people, analytical.
No, you are one of them. You're just smart in a different way,
Well,
right?
that's what my mom said. And I still made a seat. But no, I just said, but using the gifts when you realize when you go to these, like this conference, you get so nervous looking around and you start comparing yourself to something that you don't have. Use what you have. I used the benefit auction round, and it's made, I think as of today, since 2012, I have raised over about $9.5 million. I love that. And I get a piece of that too. I get paid for the marketing. I get paid for the production, helping these folks. And it's not just get up there being a clown. I meet with them over a year, showing them there's 4 people that will get, but all that, I'll get random, sidetrack again. I use that, and when I would go into these meetings and they're nerve-wracking and there's conference rooms and they're like, well, win our business. That edge was gone when they said, because I became an experience, I guess, of it enjoying it, and I made it fun. So I put some multi-million-dollar deals together, just being fun, but there is a time to get serious and drop it like it's hot.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I do when I get serious.
Yes.
But sometimes I can't get up, so that's fine too.
Then you can drop it.
I drop it cold. That's in someone else, man.
But that's helped my business. I just use tools, and benefit auction was just one of them. And
Well, I love that. That is an answer I've never heard, other than when you told me on stage last
if
year.
they told you that, they're lying.
Yeah, you're like, because I'm the only one in the business that does it. Well, thank you for taking a walk with me at Global Conference, telling me how you got into the industry,
I've enjoyed
what
it.
is driving that pipeline, and how you are the Mr. Money of Bowling Green, Kentucky. Everyone, Stephen Stucy.
Thank you so much, Ash. I love you. Thank you so much.
Heather, something I don't think I've asked you, and I've known you for 7 years, maybe?
Wow.
Yeah.
This will actually be my, next month will be 12 years in the brand.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Okay. I've never asked you how you got into commercial real estate. So can you share that story with me?
Yeah, sure. It's actually a very funny story, but I was in the bar and restaurant business since I was 14, and put me through school, paid for college. I really didn't know what I want to be or what I wanted to be when I grew up, and I'm still trying to figure that out too. But
Me too.
I actually opened a bar restaurant in Sumter, and Jay was actually one of the happy hour people. And one of the prominent businesswomen in our town, she just helped me out through a lot of guest bartended for her events. And eventually I finished my degree. I wasn't getting any bites on job opportunities. And I just went to her and I was like, I don't know what I'm doing wrong, and she's like, opportunity will come. Well, she spoke to Jay because, they were, partners together. And he's like, come have an interview with me. And I was like, I don't know anything about real estate. Doesn't matter. And our interview was not an interview. And we talked for 45 minutes to an hour. And after that, he's like, hey, if you want this job, I would love to have you.
Oh,
So that's how it started
and that was 12 years ago almost.
12 years ago.
Wow. And you guys still have meetings in bars, you and Jay? Yeah.
All the time. In
Across
fact,
the street?
In fact, the brewery is across the street. So come 4 o'clock, we're like, Jay, let's go.
You're like, our meeting is about to
Yes.
start.
So I'll bring our 4-page task sheet and we'll prioritize what needs to be done.
Oh, that's a fantastic story. And I don't know how we've never talked about that before. Well, one other thing that I know that you always say compliments on your wardrobe. So one of my favorite things is that one of your clients that's in your building is the shop where you get all your clothes.
One Accord, yes.
Right.
Made a huge mistake moving her next door. But no, she's great. And she adds so much to our downtown area. And in fact, I told her once I need to work Saturdays so I could afford her clothes forward. But no, she's a great person. And her husband actually just retired at Hot Furniture.
Oh.
And he bought the men's warehouse downstairs. So now they are husband-wife team. She sells women's and he sells men's.
Oh, that's awesome. And I love that y'all are really building up the downtown community in Sumter. I mean, since I was there, you guys have purchased another building, I think Jay told me.
She within the last 10 days.
Yeah. The last 10 days?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, my Lord. Well, one last question. We're at Global Conference right now in Kansas City, Missouri. Tell me what your favorite thing is about Global Conference and why you keep coming back.
It's definitely the people. We have become friends with so many different people within franchise, and we are so excited that we, you know, reach out to them prior. Like, and Mondays have become like our dinner night.
Oh.
So tonight we have 22 people at a restaurant, and it's just we're family.
Yeah, it is totally true. Like, we have great content here, but even though people say you don't get a hug at the end of a commercial transaction, I come here to Global Conference to hug everyone, all the affiliates, and I look forward to that moment.
Same. Me too.
Yes. Well, have a great dinner tonight. Thank you so much for talking to me today.
Yeah. Thanks, Ashley.